Hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo. We've been a minute. Been a minute since we've been on the lives. Been a minute. Busy week last week. I didn't get any opportunities to do any lives last week. So it's been a minute. Menser first. How fitting, bro. How fitting. No volume tards in the live. That's a fact. No volume tards. As usual in TikTok live tradition, tonight's drink is the Canada Dry Zero Sugar Ginger Ale. You know, I was never really into ginger ale that much, and then my girlfriend got me on this, and it's fucking good. They also make a ginger ale with lemonade, and that shit is really good too. So, as I was kind of rambling at the beginning there, it's been actually the last live that I did was on February 27th, which would have been 9 days ago. So last week was a pretty busy week, so I didn't have a lot of opportunities to go live. But we're back. We're back. Josh, how am I doing? Has it been a good day, a week? Yes. Well, first of all, thank you for asking. I'm doing really good. Today has been a pretty busy day, so I've had 3 clients sign on this week, and I've spent pretty much my entire morning doing programming and writing new coaching programs. So today's been busy, but like I had planned, gonna take some time and get this live out here. And it's been a better week this week than last week. Last week was just super busy. It was hard to get stuff done, but I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. I like your lips. Thanks, bro. Come give him a kiss. Yes, sir. Angel, what's going on, man? How you doing? What's going on? Where's everybody watching from tonight? Where's everybody checking in from? That's awesome, man. Keep up the great work. Amazing things coming your way. Josh, thank you, bro. I really appreciate that, man. That means a lot. Angel, got sick a week ago and haven't gymmed since. Lost like 6 pounds. Well, it happens, man. I mean, it's unfortunate. You know, you work out and you get healthy, but sometimes sickness is inevitable, and sickness really sucks. So I feel for you, dude. But if it means anything, let's say you go a week and a half without going to the gym. That realistically doesn't. That's not that long, you know. Say you may train and go to the gym for 10 to 20 years over the course of your life. You know, taking a week or so, a year, and getting sick isn't really a ton of time. So it definitely sucks, but it's probably not doing as much damage as you think it is. So mentally, I hope that makes you feel a little better. I'm at the gym just resting. Jackson, bro, you're at the gym and you're on TikTok? Man, my phone goes on airplane mode when I'm in the gym, dude. Like I cannot be bothered when I'm training. I cannot. Obviously, I know most people aren't like that, but you do you, bro. Should protein be higher on a cut? I think it should be, yeah, a little bit. I think it can help with your hunger, and I think the literature's pretty clear on the sense that usually people who are eating higher protein intake have better body compositions. Plus the fact that protein is a lot harder to store as body fat, and it's metabolically expensive to do that. So yeah, I do like to keep my protein a little bit higher when I'm cutting, but not anything drastic, you know. I don't like double it. That's a good perspective. I appreciate it, bro. Yeah, no problem, man. I think it's something that people struggle with a lot, but I think it's really not making as big of an impact as you think. So, just roast that guy. No, man, I wasn't roasting him. I guess I didn't mean to come off like that. I just, I don't know. It's not something that I would do, but who the fuck am I, you know? The guy can do whatever he wants. Why can't I lose body fat on my upper body? My legs are toned, but my upper body has so much fat. Well, there's no way to spot reduce body fat, so you need to just keep on dieting, get in a calorie deficit, and just keep going, and it'll eventually go off. What should you program reverse banded exercise, say a hack squat or leg press, normal version? So that's a really good question. First of all, we need to understand that I don't think that it's something that needs to be done at all. Like, you don't need to have a reverse band, or you don't need to have an accommodating resistance. So the opposite of reverse banding would be what's called accommodating resistance, which is where the band tension kicks on instead of releasing. I like to use the reverse banded hack towards the end of a session, like literally very last exercise of a session, or if someone has knee problems with the regular hack squat. I think that reverse banding a hack is something that's like really, really trendy right now, but I see some, I'm not saying that I'm like super innocent, but I see a lot of people putting on like these big fucking 160-pound tension, like monster bands, and it's just like flinging up out of the hole. If you are going to reverse band a hack, I don't want to give a number on how many pounds of band tension you should use, but it should be just taking a small amount of load out of the bottom. Now, the accommodating resistance leg press, I like to use towards the beginning of a session, and that's because that is going to force the load to, I don't want to say kick on through the mid-length, through the mid-range, because there is always tension there during the mid-range, and it doesn't necessarily, I guess you could say, add tension. It just keeps the tension consistent. I don't know if I'm even making sense by how I'm explaining that. Probably not, but it's an exercise that requires a lot more oomph to lock out an accommodating resistance leg press. So I like to do that earlier in the session while my body is more fresh, so that I can actually lock out that rep. I notice when I do an accommodating resistance leg press at the end of a leg session, when I go for that last rep, my legs are so fatigued that when the band tension kicks on, I can't lock the rep out. Whereas with the reverse banded hack squat, my legs are so fatigued that when the mid-range kicks on, the weight is getting lighter as I'm driving out of the hole mainly. So that was a long-winded answer. But there are a couple different scenarios. Yo, what's up, Tyrone? How you doing, bro? When bulking, do you get to a body fat percentage where let me see if I'm understanding this. When bulking, should get to a body fat where you feel your performance is the best and maintain, or do you push calories to keep making progress? Okay, so Nicholas, I am of the opinion that you should continue to push calories and continue to gain weight. That is an unpopular opinion in the coaching industry, I guess. I personally see no problems with going into higher body fat percentages as long as you are aware of how long it's going to take you to get the body fat percentage down, and you diet according to that. So I think that most people, if they try to get to a body fat percentage and then just hold it and try to recomp from that point, unless they're using PEDs, are going to be really, they're going to be upset with how much time they wasted. I find that doesn't really work for a lot of people. It's one of those things that like sounds good on paper, but when you actually try it in real life, it doesn't really work a lot of times in my experience. Is that a Buzz Lightyear? Yes, it is. So this is a Squishmallow. Those are like those plushy pillows. This thing is super, super soft. Super soft. I got a Buzz Lightyear one. I did water fasting when I was younger. Bad mistake. You think that has anything to do with my test? I don't know. Maybe. I'm not really an endocrinologist in that sense, man. I don't understand how that would impact your testosterone levels. But yeah, I mean, going extended periods of time without eating probably is not the best. Stone Mountain. Isn't that guy a streamer? I have to Google it right now. I hope so. I think there's a guy that's like a Stone Mountain guy streamer. I don't know. Who knows? Do you prefer a seated leg press machine or a more traditional 45? I like a 45. If you're talking about a seated leg press like the pin-loaded ones, I don't really care for those. But a 45 degree leg press is always going to be a classic. Beard is phenomenal. Thank you. I appreciate it. Is it possible to lose 60 pounds in 3 months, not safely and health consciously? I love your face. Thank you, bro. Best band for warming up shoulders and knees? I would just get a light resistance band. I don't know anything about the brands of bands, but I would just get one of those really thin like resistance bands off Amazon for they're like less than $10. I got one in my gym bag. Super cheap. I'm thinking of switching to a single leg press, but the weight on the machine is way less. Am I weak? No, you're gonna be weaker on one leg than you would be on two. When coming from a complete deload, should you go back into it like same working sets or ease back? It depends on how in tune you are with your training volume. Like I'm very aware of how much training volume that I can do and recover from, so I just go right back into it. But if you're still in like a phase where you're trying to figure out like how much volume can I do and still recover from, then I would probably ease back in after your deloads. But I have like my volume landmarks like pretty well established, and so I kind of just go right back in. What are your calories and macros at on the cut? I will give you the exact numbers shortly. We'll look it up. I'm getting ready to get this cut over with. So I guess while I load up this sheet here, I guess I'll just kind of talk about where I'm at with my bodybuilding journey. So I just finished up week 8 of my cut. I'm starting to get really antsy now to get back into a bulk. I really want to get food and drugs back in and just get back to gaining some muscle. But I would like to just take just a few more pounds of body fat off before I do that. So I'm looking at ideally maybe another 2 weeks of dieting. And I'm going to try to push these next 2 weeks like pretty aggressive just to get this fat off so that I can get back to gaining weight. But training days right now are 390 carb, 42 fat, and 270 protein, and calories are at 3,077. 3077. I like the pin-loaded leg press for calves. Yeah, I think it's great for that, and I think it's great for doing single leg presses too. You put your other leg like if this is the platform, like this is the bottom, like there's the hole underneath. I'll use my other leg and go through the other hole, and I can get a real deep, like, single leg press with that pin-loaded one. But calves are a great one, too. You look like you stare in the cracks of the bathroom stalls. Okay. Counter to what you said, should I gauge whether I'm building muscle with progression at... What does this say? What if I... What if I progress at maintenance at a comfortable body fat? It has nothing really to do with your training progressions. It has more to do with the hormonal environment that your body is in with a caloric surplus. So I would continue to add calories, and if you're not comfortable mentally with continuing to push calories because you don't want to get any fatter, then just do a mini cut and do a very aggressive diet for a month and take off 10 pounds and then get back to bulking. But I would either continue bulking or start cutting. I wouldn't do this like maintenance phase where you try to recomp your body weight. It just doesn't happen for most people. Like I'm pretty far-fetched to say this, but let's say you hit 200 pounds and you're like 20% body fat. If you held that 200 pounds for a year, I don't think that at the end of that 1 year you would be like noticeably leaner or noticeably bigger. I think that would be a wasted year. I think you need to commit to a bulk or a cut. And if you are so fat that you can't continue to commit to the bulk, then just cut. Hey, what's up, Matt? How you doing? Peyton, that's like the second or third time that you've commented that. Are you trying to like get a laugh or something? Can I do PPL 5 days a week? Yeah, of course. You just pick up on the next week where you left off. So you would do, for week 1, you would do push, pull, legs, and then push, pull. And you would miss the legs because you're only doing 5 days a week. But then next week, just start with legs and then push, pull, legs, push. And then you'll miss the pull. And then the next week, start with pull. So just because the calendar week starts over doesn't mean that your training program has to start over from the beginning. Bro, I am so unhappy with my progress. I feel like all I did was put on fat throughout my bulk. I would recommend that you get someone to work with then to help guide you. Have you been to Quads Gym yet in Chicago? I have not, but I would love to go. That, even though like I live in the western suburbs of Chicago, so that's still like a good hour away from me, which an hour isn't like a long time, but it's more time than I feel like driving just for a gym when I have pretty good gyms that are around right now. I'm taking a week off from the gym. Is there anything I should know or what can happen during this week? No, man, just take a week off and keep eating your normal foods and tracking your macros, and if anything, catch up on some sleep. But taking a week off the gym is going to do nothing but good things for you. So don't be worried to do that. There is nothing bad that ever comes from taking a week off the gym. It's all positive. So just don't think about it too much. Enjoy the time off. Hey, Beardo. What? Interesting. What's up? Let's say I have a quad day. Should I get some hammies and calves done before my quads? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be before, but I would not have a day where you like only hit quads and just like completely forget your hamstrings. Like I even if you have like a quad focused day and a hamstring focused day, like I would still hit like some hamstrings on your quad day and some quads on your hamstring day. But whether you do them at the beginning or not is up to you. I would do them before just to get them done with and out of the way, but you don't have to. I'd either do it at the beginning or do it at the end. Do you think a relative novice can build muscle in a deficit? Yes, of course. Novices are really the only people who can build muscle in a deficit. And obviously like PED users. But as far as drug-free people, like novices are really the only people who can build muscle in a deficit. How do I become an online coach when you have all personal trainer qualifications? Do I need a license? No. An online coach is not a job that you like get a license for. You just basically go on the internet and say, I'm a coach. I mean, that's the reality of it. That's why it's such a competitive industry, is because there are no entry qualifications. That's what I was thinking. Thank you, man. I was thinking the extra rest day would help recovery. Yeah, I personally train push-pull legs full. Well, not now, but before the leg program that I'm running right now, I was running push-pull legs over 4 days, and I would just pick up the next week where on the sessions that I didn't miss. I think people have this misconception that like if they have 4 days a week to train, they can only have like 4 workouts in their program, but like that's a block. A week is like a block of arbitrary like time. It doesn't mean anything. Just because like the day goes from Saturday to Sunday and a new week starts doesn't mean that your program has to start from the beginning. That's great. Y'all need to get a Whoop. Yo, Nate is on this Whoop kick. Needs to get an endorsement from Whoop. Get some of that Whoop money. How many calories are you eating right now? Like 3,000. 1 week can actually help you if you're doing HIIT, right? Yeah, absolutely. If he's as tired and as sore as he says he is, then taking a week is only going to help. It's going to do nothing negative for him. Everything positive. Love the content you're putting out. Thank you, Blake. I appreciate that a lot, man. Got more coming out. Tomorrow is a pull session. I'm going to hit pull tomorrow, and I'm going to film the whole thing for YouTube. So every working set of that session will be on YouTube sometime. I don't know when. I missed doing these lives last week. Last week was just super busy. And I really like truly didn't have any time to do any lives last week. But that's why we're on here today. And more content always coming out. I got tons of ideas. So thank you, Blake. I appreciate it. How do we know when it's time to up calories on a bulk when your weight hasn't moved? If your weight doesn't move at all, like after 2 weeks, I would move your food up. If it doesn't move, say you're eating 3,000 calories and your weight doesn't move, and then you bump up to 3,250. If your weight doesn't move for a week, I wouldn't change it yet. But if like say that second week comes and your weight still hasn't moved, I would bump it again. You are cute. Thanks. Also, I've been weightlifting and my back has been hurting for the past 3 to 4 days. Proper form and everything. I have a trainer. I don't know. I feel like those two things kind of contradict itself. But if your trainer says that everything is looking good, then you may just be sore. You know, it's going to be part of it. I don't know if you're talking about like your muscles in your back are sore or like your spine hurts. Like those are two different things. There's a difference between like back soreness and back injury. So I guess I don't know which one you're talking about there, but yeah, maybe your trainer isn't that good. That was the very first thing that popped in my head. Like if If you're doing proper form and your shit is snapped up, then maybe it's not proper. Knees really bothering me on the hack squat. I keep a narrow, low stance, but I feel pressure. FMU, I would recommend reverse banding the hack. And if that doesn't help, then just stop doing the hack. There's no reason why you have to do a hack. And I would actually argue that if you continue to do an exercise that is causing you injury, it's not going to really bring anything positive to you. So, but try the reverse band. Try a reverse band. Yeah, that makes sense. I just wanted to make sure hitting each muscle group every 4 to 5 days was okay. Yeah, man, that's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. It's gonna come down to, are you progressing your lifts? If you're progressing your lifts, then it's great. I have a lot of lower back pain after deadlifting, first time in a while. Any tips on alleviating? I don't know, man. I'm not a medical professional. Obviously, you did something wrong, and your lower back is fucked up. So I would assess your form, and if it continues, you got to see a medical professional, and maybe don't deadlift. How can I collab with you? We could make Fortnite videos or go to a festival. Big Nate. Nate, we have so many things we could collab on. So many. Fortnite, vacays, festivals, so much. We'll be lowering weight to work on form. Yeah, that's a good idea, buddy. If I was to push my bulk up to 25% body fat, would that high of a body fat percentage be suboptimal for growth? Yeah, I probably wouldn't go up to 25. I cut it off right at 20 usually. I use a lot of knee flexion as well. Don't get it. I don't mind being quite high body fat. Yeah, Bass, or however you say your name, I would not go that high. 20% is where I usually cut it off. Give or take. Usually 20% for sure. I wouldn't go much higher than that. FMU, yeah, try the reverse band, man. And I would look at your ankle mobility and your foot stability. So, and maybe your hips too. You may have tight hips. Like, usually when your knees are sore, it's either an ankle problem or it's a hip problem. So, I would test your hip mobility and I would test your ankle mobility. Yo, my guy. What's up, Rory? How you doing, bro? How things going, man? Okay, Abegard, however you say my name. I understand everything that you're saying, but you're also kind of contradicting yourself. If your lower back discs are sore, you are not doing the exercise correctly. It does not matter how strict this guy is on form and how good he says it is. It obviously is not good if it's causing you spinal injury. So if it continues, dude, you got to see a medical professional, and you need to communicate with your trainer that I am in a lot of pain in the way that I'm doing these exercises. And if he says, oh, you're doing them right, and he cannot come up with alternatives for you to do, then you don't have a good trainer. As I just got done saying about the online coaching, there is no entry fee for people to be a personal trainer. People can walk in off the street with no education at all, a high school degree, and can become personal trainers. So you could have a fucking nobody who's telling you that your form is good, but it's obviously not good if you are in pain in your spine. Period. End of story. Your body is telling you that what you're doing is not good and does not feel good. So it doesn't matter what homeboy, your trainer, says, it's not good. How's your day going? It's going good, Z. I'm doing good, man. Take a bath, dude. I don't talk about politics. No politics and no religion talk. Your thoughts on working with an online trainer? I missed that part. Well, I mean, I'm an online trainer, so I obviously think that it's a good idea. It depends if you're working with a good trainer. There are lots of online trainers who are not fucking good at training people. So it depends on who you get. Play some Pop Smoke. Nick, I'm not going to play music on here because I plan on uploading this to my YouTube and I just don't want it to get copyrighted. Do you deadlift? I do RDLs. I don't deadlift from the floor. How do I grow a sick beard like yours? I have no tips that I can give you for that, man. This is all genetic. My dad and my grandpa and my grandpa's grandpa, like, we're all very, very hairy guys. So I don't have any tips that I can give you. It's all luck. If you guys weren't here at the beginning, tonight's drink is the Canada Dry Zero Sugar. This is not one that I thought that I would like, but it's actually pretty good. I'm not a huge ginger ale guy, but this stuff is pretty solid. What gyms do you train at? I train at an Export Fitness, and I train at a Brick House Fitness, which is a local gym in Wheaton, where I live. So drinking sugar-free ginger beer. Love that ginger. Yeah, so we have like a ginger drink here in the States that's called Verner's. And I bought that shit once thinking that it would be pretty good because I like ginger ale, and it's not. So I'm actually not a fan of like ginger drinks or ginger beer. But ginger ale is actually really good. And then Canada Dry has another one that has lemonade, ginger ale and lemonade mixed in with it. And that shit is just fucking gas. So lucky to have such great gyms where you're at. All I got is Planet, Anytime, and other commercials. Brandon, where do you live? I mean, I've seen a lot of Lifetimes. I have clients that train in Lifetimes that have really good gym equipment, and same with Anytimes. So Planet, I feel you on Planet. Planet can be pretty limited, but Anytime and Lifetime and some of those others, LA, like they got some pretty solid equipment depending on where you go. So where do you live? I'd be interested to hear that. You think there's more doors or wheels? Oh, man. Yeah, I think wheels too. Probably wheels. Because, you know, you're just thinking like some places or some things may only have one door, but how many things do you know that only have one wheel? You know, most things either got two wheels or they got four. So can you meow? I can, but I ain't doing that shit. I live outside Myrtle Beach, too far to commute daily. My suburb only has those few gyms. Yeah, man, I would take a look at some of those anytimes, and if you have like LAs or anything there too, I would check what they got. How many exercises per workout? The least amount of exercises possible to stimulate growth. Come on, you know you want to. I know that I don't. I'm on a 7-day free pass at any time right now, and I like it better than my last gym so far. Yeah, I'd probably switch then. Otherwise, check out, like I said, man, I would check all the places out. I think Planet you can Planet you can write off right away. I think you can write off Planet right away. A lot of their equipment sucks, and a lot of it just doesn't have the atmosphere that you can train hard. But check this stuff out, man. Check all your options before you go saying all your gyms are bad. It's really odd, man. It's only been a couple of weeks, and I think my biceps have grown. Hey, that's it may be odd, but it's fucking great, you know. You're never gonna complain about making progress. That's good to hear, man. I would assume that if you looked back on your lifts for your bicep movements, they've probably continued to progress over that time period, and that's how this works, man. Get better at your lifts, eat your food. That's it. What did you eat for breakfast today? I had a shake, which was 75. Was it 75? 75 grams of Cocoa Pebbles, 50 grams of banana, and 40 grams of whey. So I have not eaten breakfast, like actual food, in like months. I've been drinking my breakfast for as long as I don't want to say as long as I can remember, but for at least the past like 2 to 3 months, I've been drinking my breakfast. I just don't feel like eating in the morning. I'm just not about that. Funnily enough, my guy, nothing has really changed except it may just be the form. Yeah, I mean, if the weights and reps are the same, but the execution is better, like that's a form of progression on its own. I think most people, obviously, like the biggest, the most common ways to progressively overload are weight and reps, but if your weight and reps have stayed the same and your form and execution is better, then that is progressive overload as well. So that's part of it. You really are 2% Cocoa Pebbles, bro. I would say 5. Actually, I'm not really eating that many Cocoa Pebbles right now. But also I gotta put this out there, man. Like, people give me so much shit for eating Cocoa Pebbles, but literally all that Cocoa Pebbles are is rice and cocoa powder and some sugar. Like, that's it. Like, I know people give me a lot of shit for eating a lot of Cocoa Pebbles, but I'm literally just eating rice with cocoa powder. So, are there better things that I could be eating? Like, I mean, maybe, but I also don't think that Cocoa Pebbles are like particularly unhealthy for you. I assure you guys that Cocoa Pebbles are like the most unhealthy thing that I put in my body all day, and I don't think that Cocoa Pebbles are that bad for you. I wonder if there's some like organic, like hippie ass Cocoa Pebbles out there that are like I don't know, use no preservatives or whatever the fuck all these hippie cereals and stuff have in them, but that would be interesting to see. When are you gonna post a physique update? I don't know, man. When I finish the cut, which I don't know when that's gonna be. I'm not in a rush. I'm not in a rush to post one. How you get so big? I'm not that big, but just eat and sleep and train. Is that Buzz in the background? Emily, yes it is. And I had someone comment on him earlier. Maybe I should stand him upright. I'm gonna stand him upright. I'll have him watch my back. Can he be seen? Oh yeah, he can be seen. That's Buzz. Buzz in the back. Are you on gear? Just curious. I will support you either way. Yes, I am. I will support you either way. You gotta have your balance, man. Rock on with the Cocoa Pebbles. I feel that. I think Magic Spoon might. Magic Spoon. Let me see. I'll have to take a look. Do you watch basketball? Yeah. Usually, whether it's NBA or college basketball, I really only watch playoff time. I don't really watch a ton of like regular season basketball unless there's like a big matchup. I've seen your food choices. You got your nutrition, but you got to work in with your love too. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. If you want success in life, balance is BS. I mean, I guess I agree with that, but I think using that as a means to justify eating Cocoa Pebbles is a bit extreme. Does he still have the stain on it? No, we got it out. I don't know if it was like bleach or whatever it was she used, but the mustard came out. He's no longer Mustard Lightyear, so. But he is watching my back there. I have a lazy eye too, bro. Do I? Are you saying that I have a lazy eye? If I have a lazy eye, that's news to me. But you have a very chill demeanor. Yeah, man, I'm just big kicking it. I appreciate that though. You really think people like, okay. How often do you have to deload now versus when you were a teenager with better recovery? I deload like every 6 weeks now. I don't know if that's really changed a whole lot. When I started training, I wasn't really deloading at all. I was just pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and never really pulling back. So I can't really answer that question. I deload about every 6 weeks right now. But back in the day, I don't know how long it would take. Basically, I would just continue to train hard until I got sick or got hurt, and that would be it. Obviously, that's a flawed way to do this, but when you're young, that's what you do. Favorite movie ever? Holy shit. This is a hard one. I like a lot of movies from the 80s. So I like The Breakfast Club. I like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. What else? What other movies do I like? Man, I don't know. You stumped me. Those were the two ones that come to my head. I don't really watch a lot of movies, to be honest. But those two, The Shining, I like The Shining a lot. Silence of the Lambs, which I think those movies were made in the 90s, but I I really like those movies a lot. Shutter Island, that's a newer one. I didn't have any, and then they just like all flooded to my head all at one time. I mean, in regards to nutrition, I think balance is key. Yeah, Rory, I you know what, man, I think for 95% of the people who are doing this, then yeah, you need to have balance. I think when you're a competitor, that's a different question. But for people who are just, living the lifestyle and having balance with their life, I do think that they need to have some balance too. So, what are your test levels on a blast? Just curious, no need to answer. Well, I have a video on my website that goes over my blood work. If you want to watch that video, I have my exact test levels in there, and that was on 350 milligrams of test. I've only taken 2 cycles in my entire life. My first one was 300 milligrams of test. My second one was 350 milligrams of test. This next one that I'm going to do is 400. And I think 350 milligrams of test had my test levels on like maybe 1500 or something. I can't remember off the top of my head, but if you want to see the exact numbers, then you go to my website, which is btbtraining.net, and then go to my videos section, and it'll be the very first video there. So I think it was like 1500. If you're a beginner, how often do you have to deload? I would probably schedule a deload like every 6 to 8 weeks if I were a beginner. But it also depends on how hard you can train. Like if you can train really hard, you can make yourself get fatigued in a month, in 4 weeks. If you train not as intense, it may take you longer to overtrain. So if her doors feel shut, then just, okay, that sounds like some sound lyrics or something. How long did it take you to acknowledge what true failure in the gym is? A long time. A long time. I mean, I think most people have an idea of what they think failure is, and then they slowly expose themselves to more and more intense training. And I also think that I have a lot of room that I can get better. So I'm nowhere. I don't know if I've even hit like true failure yet, I mean, if you were to ask me at the end of every session, I'm like, yeah, there's no fucking way that I could have gotten another rep. But maybe there is another way to get another rep that I just haven't figured out yet. So it takes a while, man. You know what? I think that's a skill that you never really... I don't know if you ever truly perfect that skill. I think you're always going to be continuously exposing yourself to more and more levels of intensity. Great movies. Yeah, I happen to like a lot of movies from the 80s and 90s and shit right now, and I don't know why that is. Should I do PPL 3-day cycle of the same exercises to train progressive overload? I would have 2 rotations, so I would have a push-pull legs A and then a push-pull legs B with all different exercises. If you do push-pull legs, push-pull legs, push-pull legs, and every time you do push, you do the same push day, and every time you do pull, you do the same pull day, you're going to stall out pretty quick. In my second year of training, think I can still gain decent muscle on this next cut? I mean, it depends how good your training has been these first 2 years. If your first 2 years were like legit training, like following a legit program, it's probably unlikely. But if your first your first years were you just messing around and now you're starting to do things properly, yeah, I mean, sure. But it becomes less and less likely the longer that you go. When do you plan to compete? Man, I would like to compete soon. I don't want to. I know exactly what show I want to do. I just don't know when I'm going to do it. Off the top of my head, I think next year, 2023, is going to be the best chance to do it. But, I mean, I may do it this year, too. I could diet down, and I could continue to keep cutting and see see what I look like and see if it would look decent enough to compete. But I don't think I'll be good enough to compete this year. So maybe next year. I wonder if any open bodybuilders at the Olympia have 10,000 nanograms per deciliter on a blast. I don't know, man. Honestly, I would doubt it, because I think most of the people that are at the Olympia level are such genetic freaks that they don't need to take as much drugs as you think they take. I think most people look at the Olympians and assume that because they're the biggest guys, they probably take the most drugs. And I would actually bet it's probably not that way at all. I bet the people who are, if you're good enough to make it to the Olympia, like, you have cream of the crop genetics, which probably means that you don't need to take as many drugs as someone who doesn't have good genetics. The people who are probably taking the most gear are like the amateurs who are trying to turn pro, or people who like just turn pro and are trying to become a top pro. But I bet the guys at the Olympia are actually some of the guys who are taking some of the lower amounts. I lost 60 pounds and maintained for 3 months for a reset after a solid recomp. Yeah, I don't know, man. I have no idea if you'll be able to do it. You'll just have to try it and see what happens. Can you hop on and off test? I've heard your body will quit producing tests naturally. It will. Buzz be looking like a snack. Well, Carissa thought he was a snack too when she spilled fucking mustard on him. Is feeling fatigued and not really wanting to go to the gym a sign to deload? Yes, absolutely. That is a huge indicator that you need to deload. Squatting. Let's see. How do you know when you hit complete failure on leg extension if I can't get it all the way up? Yeah, failure means like the muscle is no longer able to continue working. So if you're going up and you stop because you can't go anymore, that is failure. On a blast, do you roid rage? No. Not really. But I've only ever taken tests, so we'll see what the other drugs do when it's that time. It's been a solid routine, seeing good changes during this maintenance even. Yeah, just keep going, man. Just keep going. What's a cruise look like for you? 150 migs a week. That's what I'm cruising on right now, is 150 tests a week. I'm a pro bodybuilder. Yeah, you are, Nate. If I've ever seen one before, it's you. Your back and shoulders are huge. You're good on that. Yeah, it's my legs. It's my legs mainly. My legs that I need to improve big time. And that's why I'm training legs every 3 days. When it comes to beginner, advanced, etc., should I base it off taking it serious in the gym or total? Rory, I assume that you're going to say total time. I see the emoji. This is a really controversial question, and it kind of really depends who you ask. In my eyes, I don't base people's experience level off of the amount of time they've been in the gym. I base it off of how much time in the gym have they been truly dedicated to following a legit program. Because, most people, when they either get in the gym or, at some point during the way, they're doing a bunch of just random nonsense. They don't really have a plan with what they're doing. And I don't like to count that as like time that you've spent in the gym. Personally, I look at people's training age versus their like total time in the gym, but everyone does it completely different. Rory, from what you the conversations that you and I have had over DM and over these kind of conversations, I would consider you someone who's still in like the beginner intermediate phase. If that's the reason why you're asking the question, is to just try and gauge where you're at. That's where I would gauge where you're at personally from my perspective. Yeah. Someone give this man a gift. Why don't you give me a gift? Did you play any sports in high school? Yeah, I played, sorry. Did you play any sports in high school? Yeah, I played football for 7 years, like middle school all the way through high school, and then I played baseball. I didn't play baseball in high school, but I played baseball every year from like t-ball all the way up into high school. But once I got to high school, I stopped playing baseball and I played football exclusively, and then I lifted in the off season. Do you feel a low mentally or physically when you went back down to your cruise from your blast? No, not really, man. The only thing that I really notice is a huge difference between when I'm on and when I'm off is my sex drive is like crazy when I'm on. And when I'm off, it's still like high, but it's not like crazy. It can kind of get out of control like when I'm on. But mentally I feel pretty good. I actually kind of feel like my stress and anxiety levels are higher when I'm on. So I actually, if anything, I feel better mentally when I'm off. But physically, I feel very much the same with the exception of my sex drive. Those are really the only two changes that I notice. My boy, Nate, how you doing, bro? It's been a busy past couple weeks for us, man. Busy past couple weeks. Did you go to college? I went to community college and I got my associate's degree, but I don't have a bachelor's degree. I got my associate's degree, and then while I got my associate's degree, I got my personal training certification, and then right after I got my associate's degree, I got right into personal training. What do you mean by out of control? I mean, you just be like in the fucking like grocery store, like just trying to get stuff, and like the only thing that you can think about is fucking. Like it kind of just gets annoying at some point, you know? That's really kind of how it goes. Do you feel like your receptors are truly resetting when blasting and cruising as compared to a PCT? I don't know about the receptors and everything, man, but I'm on doctor prescribed TRT. So I underwent like a pretty like extensive weight loss. I lost like over 100 pounds in a year. And I got really, really lean, and I stayed really, really lean for a really, like I was 21 years old, like 5'8" at 150 pounds, and like really, really lean. And I stayed lean like that for months, and I just crashed my natural hormone levels. And so I've been on like doctor prescribed TRT since I was 20. I don't know how long now. Maybe I think when I was 22, and I'm 25 now. So PCT isn't an option for me. So I don't know. I'm not like a biochemist and shit. I don't know a whole lot about like receptors and whether your receptors reset or whatnot. I do know that every top level bodybuilder in the world blasts and cruises, so obviously it works. But that's my opinion on it. Same, I had 30 customers in 1 hour on Sunday, and it was just me in the store, but no one left empty-handed. That's fucking crazy, dude. That's insane. 30 people in 1 hour. But bro, that commission check's gonna be fat. I know it is, huh? How difficult was it to get enough customers to make good money? I I don't know. It depends how good you are. That's why you have a girlfriend before you start blasting gear. I have a girlfriend, and I've been with my girlfriend for almost 6 years now. But you also have to understand that, like, not every girl in the world wants to fuck, like, 4 times a day. And you know, I don't know a lot of guys that want to fuck 4 times a day either. I think most guys would be like, yeah, I want to fuck 4 times a day. And then you get to, like, the 3rd day of it, and you're like, I'm fucking tired, man. And my fucking dick hurts. Like, so... But I got a girlfriend, bro. I've had one for 6 years. It has nothing to do with that. It's just you're a little out of control, like, hormonally. I've had previous full body routines, change them every 3 to 4 months. Yeah. Yeah, Rory. Yeah, I would consider you like you're in the beginner, like intermediate stage, still. So. What cycles have you ran? I ran 300 tests and 350 tests. We got about 6:30. Does pinning hurt? I use insulin needles, so no, it really doesn't. I mean, the first couple times, yeah. How many times do you train per week? I went from 6 to 5, and it's helped with progression massively. Some weeks 4 and some weeks 5. But I agree. I don't think anybody should be training 6 days a week. I think 5 is the most that you should train, and I personally get my best results with 4. I'm thinking of lowering my weights on all the exercises just to make sure my form is even better. Rory, if I can make a suggestion, I would challenge yourself to improve your form while keeping the weights where they are. Not only is that going to help you grow more, but it's also neurological. You know, you've built up a certain level of strength, and working to improve your form at that level of strength. You may see your reps decline a little bit, but they'll eventually go back up with the better form. Now, if you need to decrease weight, then I would decrease it, but I wouldn't be making these drastic weight decreases. But I also would challenge yourself to try and make your form better with the heavier loads. What do you think about a Liver King diet? I don't really watch a lot of the Liver King stuff. A lot of the stuff that I've seen is, is strange. I don't know if I would ever really eat the raw food personally, but he looks great. He's doing his thing. And I think it's strange. I see, so less reps with better form. Yeah, Rory. So like maybe you lose a couple reps when you change your form, but then like as the weeks go on and you get more comfortable with that, you'll just get those reps back. So I would rather have you like lose reps than reduce load personally. Would you eat raw meat? I would not. I would not. I'm on week 3 on the cut, no cravings or binges. Nice, man. I'm on week 8 with no cravings or binges. I really only get cravings when I get really lean. And I'm not really lean right now, so I don't really have any cravings at all. All right, guys, I think I'm going to be on for about 15 more minutes. So we'll just keep rolling like normal, and then at 6:45 I'll wrap this up, and then we'll get going. We'll get going, and I'll get this up on YouTube, and yeah, I got a long way to go. Hang in there, bro. 1 week at a time. 1 week at a time. Started lifting about 6 to 8 months ago and have gained around 35 pounds since, sitting at 5'8", 150. Good job, man. Just keep going. Keep going, bro. 35 pounds, so you would have started at 115 pounds. Awesome, man. Just keep going. You've put on like 1/3 of your original body weight. That's pretty badass. What's your current weight? Any shows planned? I'm like 210. Like between like 210 and 212 right now. Any shows planned? I know what show I want to do. I just don't know if I'll do it this year or next year. But I know what show I want to do. What music you listen to at the gym, if any? I listen to like a mix of stuff. So I'll listen to like club house music. I'll listen to metal. I'll listen to rap. I have a playlist that every time I find a song that I like, I add it to there, and it's, I've added to it over the course of years, so it's just a mishmash of whatever the fuck. True, bro. Yeah, true, bro. Yeah, thank you. The day by day. Yep. What's a good body fat to main gain at? I'm 18%. There is no good body fat to main gain at. Main gaining is a waste of your time. I assume that you weren't in the live earlier, but I already had a conversation about this. Main gaining is a waste of your time. I wouldn't do it personally. I would commit to a bulk or a cut. Last question for me: if I work on the form, should I reduce from 4 sets to 3 as intensity? Yeah, Rory, I would probably reduce it to 3 to start, and then I would work to introduce that 4th set back in. But I would maybe just the first time or two that you go around, maybe reduce the set, but I would eventually add that back in. Once you get comfortable with 3, I would just bring that 4th one back in. Unless you find that you can't recover from that 4th one, and you need to stick to 3. Can you meow now? No, bro, you're not getting one. Thank you, appreciate it so much. Yeah, no problem, bro. Yeah, that's impressive, man. Starting at 115 and being 150, that's like I said, that's like 1/3 of your original weight. If my lower back is injured, would you recommend completely off for the gym or deload? Probably deload. That's probably what I would do. How should I go about a mini cut? I would diet aggressively. I mean, I would make a big pull to your calories, 4 to 6 weeks at most, and just try to get as much fat off as you can while maintaining your gym performance. You may need to reduce your volume in that time period to allow yourself to recover. You may have to decrease your frequency, but the goal is get in, get it done, and get out. So I would diet pretty aggressively. Will I lose muscle if I take a month off the gym? Maybe, but it's probably not going to be any like significant amount. And if you do lose any muscle, it'll probably come back pretty quickly once you come back. How's GNC? We've been pretty busy, bro. Pretty busy this past, I'd say this past 2 weeks, pretty busy. All right, guys, about 10 more minutes or so here. Just let some people roll in if they haven't yet, and then we'll go ahead and we'll wrap this one up. How's your beard been? Oh, no, sorry, I'm reading two questions at once. How's your day been? It's been really busy. So I've spent most of the morning writing client programs. I've had 3 clients that have signed on this week, so I've spent most of my day today writing up new client programs. So it's been busy, been pretty busy. I'm gonna hop off this live, cook my food for tomorrow, and then chill the rest of the night. Because I've been working all fucking day. What do you do for that beard to grow? Nothing. It's all genetic. All genetics. Are you a fan of barbell squats? I don't like them personally, but I'm a fan of them for people who can do them efficiently. But I don't really care for them myself. Have you ever had muscle tightness on the shoulder lat area? Yeah, of course. Every tight things, things are always tight and things are always sore, bro. That's part of it. How much is your coaching? It's $100 a month. Do you deadlift? No, I don't deadlift. I do RDLs, which I think RDLs are a more efficient and effective exercise for hypertrophy than a traditional deadlift. But I have deadlifted for a long time. I've been training for like 8 years, so a long portion of that was like Olympic lifting. So I did a lot of deadlifts. I was off the gym 5 days. Now my lifts feel weird. No, you did not. You did not lose any noticeable amount of strength in 5 days. Unless you took 5 days off and you didn't eat a single thing and you stayed up all night and got no sleep, you have not lost any strength in 5 days. If anything, your strength has gotten better. You just haven't actualized it in the gym yet. Give yourself some time. Well, I couldn't PR. Did you actually expect to PR the first day back after taking 5 days off the gym though, bro? Like that has nothing to do with losing strength. That's just you like programming your program poorly. I don't know any lifter, whether it's powerlifting, bodybuilding, Olympic lifting, that walks in the gym after taking 5 days to a week off and attempts a PR and then expects to actually pull it off. So that has nothing to do with you taking time out of the gym. That has everything to do with how you're how you set up, how you recovered. All right, guys, a couple more minutes here, so I'll use this as kind of like a last call for questions. So I'll let you guys get your last ones in here. I'll answer a couple more for a couple more minutes here, and then I'm going to gonna hop off. Been on for like a little over an hour now, about an hour and 15 or so. So it was a pretty good one for not having done a live in a week. this is a pretty good turnout. So my dumbbell press, I was doing incline for 60 by 8 and I came back 50 by 6. It felt heavy as shit. Yeah, dude, just give yourself more time. Running full body for the next 4 months. What program should I run after? I would keep running full body if it works for you. No reason to change it. I want Carissa content. I've had a couple people say they want Carissa content. I don't know if Carissa wants to have Carissa content, but I'll have to show her this. I want Carissa content. What do you think of the Arnold split? I think it's fine, man. It's great. I'm out. Love the content. Thank you, Santi. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. All right, guys, cool. So I'm going to wrap this one up here for the night. Wanted to thank everyone for coming out. I wasn't sure how this one would do because I didn't get a chance to do any lives last week, so I didn't know if that would like fuck up the algorithm or something. So glad to see that you guys are still out there and are still watching. I'll try to get another one of these done sometime this week. I'll do my best to get back on doing a 2 to 3 times a week schedule. And yeah, guys, any questions, then comment them on the YouTube video that will go up on this page. Make sure to follow the channel if you haven't already, and I will talk to you guys next time. Take care of yourselves.